pick up on what John says, because we've had this discussion before. John, are you saying that you're, I don't know if I'm using my question here.
I think you are.
This is your question. I got to be careful.
This is,
instead of phrasing it that way.
No. That sounded like the start of a question.
You're half pregnant,
I think it's important to understand that either you are willing to say that you may go after terrorist bases inside of Iraq if they should form, in which case there would potentially be a combat aspect to that, obviously, or you're not. And if you're not, then that could present some problems in terms of the long-term safety and security of the United States of America. So I just want to make sure that we got that clarification.
I'll be happy to respond. Is that a question?
Yeah, I think we've ruled it a question.
My answer to that is, as long as you keep combat troops in Iraq, you continue the occupation. If you keep military bases in Iraq, you're continuing the occupation. The occupation must end. As respects al-Qaeda, public enemy number one, they're responsible for about 10% of the violence inside Iraq, according to the reports. I would keep a quick reaction force in Kuwait in case it became necessary. But that is different, Barack, than keeping troops stationed inside. Excuse me, let me finish, please. That is different than keeping troops stationed inside Iraq, because keeping troops stationed inside Iraq, combat troops, and continuing combat missions, whether it's against al-Qaeda or anyone else, at least from my perspective, is a continuation of the occupation. And I think a continuation of the occupation continues the problem, not just in reality, but in perception, that America's occupying the country.
Let me suggest I think there's a distinction without a difference here. If it is appropriate for us to keep that strike force outside of Iraq, then that obviously would be preferable. The point is, at some point, you might have that capacity.
Yes.
And that's the clarification I want to make sure was out.